Hello and welcome to the Breaking Free podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Francis, and today I'm very grateful to be joined by the SoulTwins, Carly and Julia. I've been following their work for about 3 years now, and they've interviewed a mutual friend of ours, Dale Holmes. A big shout out to Dale, wherever you are in the country, mate, looking out for you. I'm really keen to get these two on for a couple of weeks now, and I'm just looking forward to hearing about their story and some stuff like worldly stuff and whatever else comes through. It's just going to be an awesome chat, and these two are pretty powerful, pretty cool souls. I'm looking forward to hearing their story just as much as you guys are. So Carly and Julia, take it away, and I'll just sit here and listen to your story for a bit. What do you reckon?
Right. Hello, everyone.
Hi, and thank you, Nathan, for having us on. And yes, like you said, we have a mutual friend, which is Dale. So yeah, hi to Dale if he's watching.
Hello. Yeah, as we call him sometimes.
I call him Daryl.
Yeah, I did a mistake. Then he said, "Oh, actually, someone in my family calls me Daryl," so it was a bit of a thing that we had. So hi, Daryl. Yeah, thank you so much, Nathan, for having us on, and we're really excited. It's nice to get in communication with someone that knows someone that we know, and through this process. And yeah, it's been an interesting couple of years, hasn't it? I guess it has been for everybody out there that's watching as well. Interesting is probably an understatement. Yeah. And we're still going through this whole process of awakening, and some of us have been awake for a while, and others are just waking up. And we were just chatting off air, Nathan, and you said your awakening was very quick, and that was that was a cool little thing that we learned about you just now. And yeah, one day we'll have you back on our channel and we can discuss all of that. But yeah, no, it's great to be on today, and it's great to be talking to your audience as well.
Yeah. Awesome. So how long have you two been awake for? Some might be asking if you're like real sisters, or like there's so many questions people have. So we'll just open the floor and share your story, and and how you got into what you're doing in your YouTube channel and the work that you're doing, which is awesome, powerful work. I was checking out this afternoon. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing all about it, and I think my viewers and listeners are as well. So yeah, let's rock and roll.
Thanks for that. Yeah, I guess we have been awake for a while. And
well, we are real sisters.
That's right. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, we're real sisters, and we're just 1 year apart. Carly's 1 year older than I am.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we've been awake for me since I was probably, I would say 7. But then I had my awakening at 11. So that was quite a big deal for me.
Wow.
And my journey's been quite different to yours, Nathan. I took pretty much most of my life up until now to get to the point where I'm at. So I had a very deep, sort of long journey. And I guess for me, I maybe was destined to have it go that way, because I felt like I really wanted to integrate everything on a really deep level so it would stick with me. And I think I just needed all that time to sort of get to this point to just integrate all the lessons and then gather all the wisdom from the experiences that I kind of put myself through. So yeah, my awakening was at 11. It was actually when I went to a birthday party, and there was a horror film on, and I'd never seen anything like that. Like, my parents never let us watch anything like that. We grew up dancing, and it was all very, happy and cheerful.
Yeah.
And I went to this party, which I didn't even really want to go to. It was kind of like a random thing. They weren't even really my friends. But my best friend was actually overseas at the time. So I thought, I better make an effort and, try and make more friends. Or that was kind of my thinking at 11. So I went to this party, and there was this horror film. And it was like, for me, Nathan, it was like an instant change. I went from child to adult overnight after seeing this film. And really what happened was, and it was so difficult to explain this after, because I just became this different person the next day. I was like suddenly this person who knew all of these things, and I didn't know how or why I suddenly knew them. But basically what happened to me through watching the film was that I kind of got all these messages coming through saying that the world isn't what you think it is. It's completely screwed up, and there's a lot of dark underneath you. So, like, as in underneath the ground, kind of. And it was very shocking. And yeah, I've got to think back to try and tap into how I felt back then, but it was extremely overwhelming. And as I said, I felt like I changed from a child to an adult, but I received these messages to bring light, like do whatever you can in your life just to bring light. And your mission in this life is to set your soul free. You've got to break all this down and set your soul free. Like that's the messages that came through, because through the film, what I realized was that a lot of things were coming out to program people and mess them up, like completely mess with their minds, and take them away from being who they truly are because of all this darkness that was coming through. So my goal was to kind of go to the depths of who I was, to try and really understand what that process was, and then at some point in my life communicate this information to people. And that just so happens in the last couple of years all of this stuff has come out, but never had I anticipated doing it maybe in this way. I felt like I was maybe going to do public speaking at some point or something along those lines, but you know, my life was really about dancing after that, because it kind of saved me. It was the light in my life. And then just sort of regular jobs, and I was never satisfied. You know, there was always a wanting for more, and I knew there was more that I could do, but I just didn't really know how to do that. So it was a very frustrating time for me, many years of like, how can I communicate what I found out? And you know, you do through little bits, through communicating with people that you work with and just in your life, but never did I sort of anticipate it being so much like this. And I think before this all kind of broke out in 2020, maybe around 2018, I felt like I was at a point where I'd almost kind of given up on thinking that there was more. You know, I didn't see anything really happening to the point of, oh, I know why I'm here. Like it I couldn't connect the dots. And then finally, when 2020 happened, it was like, wow, this like, it just all sort of came through, didn't it? It all just kind of broke like a dam.
Yeah.
And it all just came flooding out. And then everything that I'd been through started to make sense. So yeah, that's kind of a long, sorry, drawn out.
Nah, that's awesome. That's so powerful. Like I feel like we were all awake as kids. Like we all saw spirits and stuff. Like I saw my grandfather and that, but yeah, I sort of just ignored it. Sounds like you just went full blown into it. That's just awesome.
I was like, oh, got all this stuff to deal with now.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I felt like I had to live up to it. And
yeah,
I think the thing that got me through is like, I'm quite a strong spirited person. So that if I didn't have this kind of spirit, I don't think I would have handled it, because I was really sensitive, and I still am.
Yeah.
So yeah, and being an empath as well, you kind of just feel everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a complicated journey, but it's kind of getting a little more uncomplicated. I'll let you take the floor now, Carly.
Yeah, like, I guess a lot of my life, Nathan, was obviously being Julia's sister, and we are very close. We're a year apart. So I did feel like I had a protector role a great deal in Julia's life. And that was obviously my role. And Julia's quite often said to me, you know, you must have been a warrior in a past life, because you have that kind of energy. And I guess I do. And it comes out in different circumstances. And I certainly, you know, been, you know, as close as we are, and I'm very protective of Julia. And I did do a lot of things and take a lot of action as a young person and as an adult as well to protect Julia in that sense. You know, I won't go into all of the examples, but, you know, I was wanted to make sure that she had a light, you know, really sort of high vibrational energy around her. You know, I wanted to make sure that the atmosphere and the energy that was around her was uplifting. I didn't want her to drop into a space where she felt, you know, down and attacked by those negative entities, which I could see even as a young person. She was struggling at different times. So yeah, my awakening was different. I don't think I had a specific moment. I think I've just been a very alert child ever since I was born. And you know, I did notice, I did feel sort of energies, and I did kind of I was aware of that as a young person. So maybe as early as about 6, something like that. But it was something that I feel I chose to not tap into too much, because I felt like I was, even at that age, I felt like I was too young to do anything about it. I didn't want to get into that side of things. And I definitely obviously have, you know, psychic intuitive abilities, but I believe that you do have a choice of what you want to tap into and utilize in this life, and what you don't feel so much that you resonate with. And you were talking about seeing spirits and that sort of thing. That's not so much my intuitive ability. I'm more about the energy in general, and then also I'm about more so future prediction kind of type intuition. So it's more about seeing what's ahead, or kind of feeling, I guess, more into the energy of what's ahead. So it's not so much visions like that. Sometimes it is, but it's more about feeling the energy and that knowing that you can have, and everyone's got these abilities. It's just whether or not you choose to tap into them. And sometimes I feel like it is a responsibility. It's quite a big responsibility when you choose to use these abilities in life, because quite often people will come to you, and they've come to me many times, and Julia as well, asking our opinion and our advice, and it always comes back to our intuitive and our intuitive thoughts and interpretation of the energy that surrounds that person. And we've been doing it for a long time. It's just now that we're actually able to do it as our soul purpose, as the soul thing that we do, or the main thing that we do in life. So
and reach more people. I think
reach more people.
That's been the gift of all of this. That's come out of it for us. As much as it's been a struggle and quite confusing, and a lot of lessons, especially last year, there's been a lot of lessons that people have had to learn, and quickly.
I'm hearing you.
Get to the other side of that, and we'll talk a little bit more about that today. But essentially, what we feel that we're here to do is to help people find, by activating their intuition, and really just find their true essence in this life, so that they can get on track to reach their destiny, why they're here, and not be feeling burdened by what everyone else is doing, or how everyone else wants them to be, or all the programming and all these heavy karmic things that have been put onto people. To be able to release all of that and just really tune in, and hopefully we do that through just our energy exchange through our videos, and then also what we say and how we say it is really how we try to connect with people, and I guess some sort of healing exchange in that as well. So
that's awesome. Obviously it's working.
Thank you. More of that, though, those parts of our personality and abilities have come out through this process as well. So I guess, even though we've talked about being awake since we were young, we've definitely become more awake, and there's we've expanded, I guess, our own consciousness within these past couple of years, as most of the world has. It's just a lot of people don't know that. They just don't know that they're waking up, but they really are. And we're sort of all about helping people to do that, as Julia says. So in a nutshell, we really tap into people's intuition and soul purpose and activation. So it's activating the intuitive abilities and finding out, or helping people discover what their soul purpose is. It may not be what ours is. It might not be related to what we're doing, this kind of work online and with people and energy healing and that kind of thing. But there is something that everyone has that is their soul purpose, and this is the time to find it. And we really believe that
people really just live their highest potential. Seeing that within people and going, you can do that if you want to. We're sort of, if you want to listen, and if you want to go down that road. And I believe a lot of people do, and I think a lot of people are needing that, and they're trying to do that, and we're still doing it as well. This, we kind of anticipated it probably being a lot easier the last few years than it was. Going through the stuff that we'd gone through already, we thought, okay, this would be a piece of cake. No, the lessons kind of got harder, and
it was a piece of cake. Back up a bit there.
Speaking my language here. Oh, I've had the same thing to me too. Yeah.
So
but look, make no mistake, it is a very challenging time right now, and it has been over the past many years. People just haven't known that, because we've been so programmed. There have been so many distractions, and then obviously the past 10 sort of years, obviously technology has really taken over people's lives in a not too good way. There's a lot of great technology out there which we couldn't really do without, let's face it, but there's a lot in there as well that's quite detrimental to people's to their psyche, and then how that affects their daily life. We see people just attached to their phones. They're attached to the internet, and it's hard to tear yourself away from those things because of the programming, because it draws you in. This is what media and also social media is all about. That's why it was designed. It was to take people away from their sole purpose, to distract them to the point of just forgetting who they were and focusing on and putting all the power onto what they're seeing on the TV or online or whatever. That sort of thing.
I think a lot of that'll change, especially as we move through this year and as we keep going forward, like that will change because we will start to become, again, more natural. We'll want to sort of back away from being attached to our phones and doing things like that, because really I feel like what is required of people right now is a level of maturity that they haven't ever known before, a level of focus that they probably haven't known before. And just, I think there's going to be new levels of waking up this year, like little bits and big bits. So obviously we're still going to see things on the outer world, but it's the little things that are happening within us, and like new perspectives being discovered all the time, because we're going to keep getting activated by different things. So it's new levels of waking up. And then what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do about it? Are you going to transition? Are you going to make some sort of steps forward, or are you going to take a step back? So really it's all there for us to grab hold of and go with the flow. And that's another thing that's really powerful this year, is finding your passion, finding your fire, and then finding how to flow with that. That's a really big theme of this year. So
and that's what we want to help people do. That's what we are helping people do. We're hopefully helping people do out there with our videos and the content that we create, and just all of the content on the social media. So we do a lot of written posts as well, and that's just evolved over time. So also, as we're discovering ourselves.
And also, Nathan, I think just finding your own leader within you. How can you lead within yourself and then become a leader for other people as well? Because obviously leadership around the world is changing, and that's all going in who knows what direction.
That's a given.
So it's like finding your fire and your leadership within.
Yeah, that's a given. Obviously we're coming into a very revolutionary period in time. Times that we haven't seen for hundreds of years. A lot of this has to do with the astrology that's going on, and what the planet is going to be affected, and how humanity will be affected by that astrology, but also with the events that are occurring right now. So we can't just always compare to the past. So, for example, Pluto, the planet Pluto, is going into Aquarius, and this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius that people have been talking about for years and years. The last time that happened was back in the 1700s, where there was the French Revolution and American Revolution. So a lot of things were changing in society back then, but we can't. That's a guide of what could happen, the types of things that could happen, but obviously it would be extremely different to that now.
Well, with greater awareness that we have
greater awareness, it's a totally different time. Society is completely different to back then. But think of revolutionary type events happening. Think this is where we're going, and it's going to start this year. It's going to start around about the end of March, and we were talking a little bit off air, Nathan, about this, and it was interesting you were saying that, because that's when we're going to get a little bit of a glimpse of this type of energy, this Aquarian energy, which is all about revolution. It's all about sovereignty and freedom, and ascertaining what is quality in your life. So yes, some interesting times ahead.
Very.
We'll be quiet now.
No, it's fine. I'm just listening to this, going, some of the things you were saying I was connecting with, because it's what I was going through for so long in my life as well. And over the last couple of weeks, some things came up, and it's obviously you two were spot on with it all. And I'm just sitting here going, oh, this is me. That was me.
Good.
Yeah, it's about finding that purpose, and just trusting in that purpose that it will eventually take off. Because look at us here now, like we ain't veering from this path. And for anyone out there, finding what that true soul purpose is, well, that releases so much. That ensures that you're happy. That ensures that your vibration's high, and that your consciousness is a positive one, not a negative one, because the subconscious can't determine whether it's negative or positive. So if you fill it with positivity, you're going to get that back. Fill it with love, you're going to get that back. As we all know, the universe is I say it's a mirror of our reality. It mirrors back to us what we put out there.
Yeah, exactly right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think more and more people are realizing that how they feel on the inside, what they're thinking, just what they're putting their attention to all the time, is really what they are, like you said, going to be getting back, or what's reflected back to them. So doing that kind of work and practicing it, you actually do have to commit to that, because it doesn't happen for everyone just like that. Some people it does, like some people can make switches in their diet or things like that, and it all just magically changes, you know. But other people, they have a different journey, and I think it's really important that everyone, as I said at the beginning of the video, it is a lot about a very keen focus right now on your path. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Don't worry about who you're comparing yourself to. Like, you've got to let all that go. You know, if you're going to be on social media, and we never were on social media before this, and we still don't like social media, but we do social media for the messages, and that's all we really do that for. It's just to communicate our messages.
Yeah, same.
Because we feel like we have to do that. But for us, it, you know, it has a lot of fun, you know, just
there's a lot of
people running through it.
That's right. There's a lot of negativity, negative energy, because a lot of it is based on you know, popularity and how many numbers does this person have and all the rest of it. And you know, it's very much against how we, you know, our beliefs and values in life. We don't believe in that. You know, we're very much true to ourselves. If it doesn't matter if someone's got 2 subscribers or, you know, 200,000, it really doesn't matter. It's what resonates with you, and we always advocate that. So, and you know, we've had a lot of issues with the platforms, you know, that we work on. One main platform, but you know, it permeates through some of the platforms, and you know, they've taken videos off, and they're taking views off from left, right, and center, and that sort of thing. You know, we've seen them do it. We see them do it all the time. You know, it's not something we talk about a lot, because it's just, quite frankly, it's irritating, negative, and boring.
Yeah,
but it happens to us, and you know, we sometimes we might mention it because people do need to know what's going on, and you know. And I guess sometimes we just think, okay, I guess we are on the right track. We are, we are good things, because they wouldn't be trying to silence those types of things if it wasn't a good thing. So we just try to keep that, you know, our own positive energy going, and try to ignore those negative things.
Sorry, Nathan.
I was just going to say, like, you're posting positive content, so people are going to be surrounded by that. Social media is used in a negative way all the time. You can actually use it in a positive way and build the life you want by following people and different things that are positive. Like our content, mine's positive most of the time. There's some truth bombs there too, but it's like, if your content's positive, well, you're going to draw those positive people in. So it's like it's easier just to look at a lady with her ass out in a bikini, or a man with his shirt off. It's like, well, that's just the easy thing to look at. Why don't you look at some inspiring quotes and some inspiring people who have changed their life that can help inspire you to change yours?
And like you said,
sorry, so hold that thought 1 second. That's been used in media. Those techniques have been used hundreds of years. Like, look over here. Don't worry over there. Look over here. And there's usually some sort of, you know, pointless, crass kind of image, or something very controversial, whatever it is in the media that they're trying to put there. And obviously social media is full of that. And of course, all of it's, you know, majority of it out there is extremely tweaked. It's not reality. There are filters galore and that kind of thing. And, you know, if you're still getting taken in by that, then you need to watch some of our videos.
Same. Also mine as well.
On the right channel, on the right track, and some of your videos. But look, no, not obviously. Do whatever you like. If you like looking at certain things on there, we're not saying you can't, but yes, a lot of the stuff that is on there is about distraction. So sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say also, Nathan, about where you're placing your energy. You know, it's taking up a lot of your energy to be on social media, or you know, whatever you're doing every day. Like, really be conscious of that now. How much energy are you giving to something that doesn't really matter? How much energy are you giving to something that feels inauthentic, or you're doing something against yourself that just feels like you're overgiving, you know? Empaths, I think you're an empath. Did you say you're an empath?
Oh, I feel as though I am.
Brother?
We all are, really. My brother definitely is. Yeah.
And you can tend to sort of overgive in that sense. So you really have to find your boundaries and just pull back. Just keep pulling back, and keep bringing the energy back into the body and grounding yourself, because empaths need a lot of grounding. And I don't really like labels as such. You know, I don't really like that. But if you're someone who does overgive, or you overgive your energy, then, you know, bring it back to the body, ground yourself, and just focus in, really focus within, because we keep saying this in many of our videos, but it's really going to help you just stay at peace as much as you can, and just on track with your own evolution and your own reason for being here, because nothing can really stop people finding out, why they came, why we're here, what we're doing, why we're doing what we're doing. No one can really stop that. You can only be sort of programmed and sort of distracted for so long, but at some point, I would say it's going to cut through, and you're going to have to face those things. So better to face them now, and just have the courage to keep pushing through those fear blocks and those things that are just still holding you back. And it can be so many different things for everyone. Everyone has their own issues that they're dealing with, but if you are struggling with not knowing what your purpose is, then that's okay too. I struggled for a long time really knowing the full purpose, and I was mad at myself for that for a long time, and I was like, I should know this, or I should know the answer to this. What did I know? And kind of being mean to myself about that. And it's not about that. It's really about enjoying the simple, the small things every single day that feel in your heart good, and just let that lead you.
I love that.
It's taken me a long time to get to that point as well, for me. But for other people that are listening, maybe that can just get them there straight away. Or maybe it'll take another year, or it doesn't even matter. But really, I feel like if you're going from that place, you are going to find fulfillment on a different level. And all the other things that you worry about are going to dissipate. And I'm not saying life's easy and there's not the challenges. I'm just saying if you come from it from that place, that compassionate place, you are going to find greater fulfillment within you. But everyone around you as well is on a different path, and they can throw up a lot of curveballs, and if people aren't going with their intuition, they can be tricky to deal with. So there's a lot all the time. But
that was awesome. I'm going to make that a reel and share that on Instagram and Facebook, and that was so powerful. That was just awesome. I'm sitting here with goosebumps. I'm like, oh my God, you're speaking my language. It's so true. I'm left speechless by that, because I've got nothing else to say to that.
End of interview,
Yeah, just hand it over.
Yeah, look, but make no mistake.
Well, Nathan's allowing us to flow with the conversation, so
oh, you're just speaking my language. Some of that was so relevant to my stuff. Yeah, powerful.
She gets started, she gets on a roll sometimes, and
you do too.
Yeah,
that's true. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing at the end of the day. And yeah, look, make no mistake though. I think these evil characters out there were really, they were really giving everyone a run for their money. They were really testing people, and still are to a degree, because there are still a lot of people that are asleep or don't know what's going on. So they've still got power in that sort of sense, but there's a lot more people now that are seeing the light and seeing what's behind the shadows, and that's the important thing to focus on here. But they nearly really took over. They really went to a point of really no return. I think really we've right in the nick of time. This, however all this has come about. So obviously it started with the V, and then this, everything that's come from it. That was the big event. But things have obviously been happening numerous years. But I think you only just have to look at where technology got to, the point that it got to, and some of the I think some of the technology is extremely perverted, and it's very, some of the connotations and the purpose behind some of the technology that we have out there right now. You have to be questioning, going, where are we heading with this? If there wasn't some sort of intervention, I'm not saying it's not still happening. It is still happening, but you can see beyond the veil now. You can see what Hollywood has been doing, still is doing. You can see what the media has been doing. They've been taking people down these dark roads, filling their heads with weird, perverted, images, and making life look a certain way, to really take people off their sole purpose track. So yeah, look, you know what? It's been tough on humanity, and it was really pushed to a point. So this is why we have to work really hard right now at whatever you can do to try and push this energy, keep
Yep.
working people quite heavy. And it's the words that come out of your mouth, it's the thoughts that you have, you, Nathan, us, anyone. You don't even have to be doing this kind of work online or in, you don't even have to say anything to anyone. It's just a thought that you can put out there that can change things, and it can really start pushing things in a different direction, and really, really pushing this revolution forward.
Do you see it as like there's like I see it like people out there know something's wrong, but they don't know how to go about finding it out or fixing something that's wrong with them, or they see something wrong with the world, or they see something wrong with like something, and they don't know what it is, or I see it as like they're in the belief that there's something wrong with me. No, you're functioning as designed. You're functioning just as designed. There's nothing wrong with you. There's just programs inside your subconscious that don't need to be there. They're just a program. They're not really you. That's sort of how I see it. I also see it as well too. People are looking for that quick fix. They want that doctor, that guru, that healthcare professional, that psychic, that anything really to just to give them that quick fix. You're not going to get the quick fix doing this work. That's what I see anyway. I see that this work requires patience, it requires discipline, and it requires resilience.
Yeah.
And eventually you'll get there.
Yeah, for sure. And courage, it
courage,
requires courage. And it really is sometimes so hard to like step into just what you're fearful of. Like you might be fearful of being alone, but you have to let go of something. But you're like, oh, but I can't do that. I just don't want to do that. I'm so attached to that pattern. I'm so attached to that thing or whatever. But maybe that's your lesson. And then by doing that, you'll actually get empowered in a very different way. And then you'll attract in different people. So, I mean, what you're talking about then, I feel like also there are going to probably be some people that probably just get activated quicker, and they'll probably just be able to find their purpose a little more quickly just by listening to these things, or just anything could happen to them. And then I think there'll be just some people that don't get it ever. But that's their destiny, that's their soul journey, and
that's humanity, isn't it? There are always going to be leaders, and there are always going to be followers, and there are going to be people that just drop off. There'll be people, there'll be casualties. There already have been casualties in this process, and some of them it's not their fault. A lot of elderly people have been affected by this because
for a long time,
because they were forced to do this, and a lot of people within our circle, a lot of older people, that our parents know and through the family, they've passed away. People are passing away left, right, and center. Because around us, accelerated because of obviously this, and people might disagree with that they just turn on this for the first time and go, what are you talking about? If they come across this randomly, but I don't think there's probably too many of those, but hopefully there'll be more of those, because they need to wake up. They need to see these people people like us having conversations and talking about this. I didn't think that a lot of people out there, and I could never ascertain what the percentage was, but there are quite a few people out there that think that there's something odd going on, but they're just choosing to ignore it because there's not enough evidence in the media to suggest
in their science, right?
Exactly. We know people in that situation, and they're good people. They're nice people. And you wish that we could just scoop them up and go, hey, just get over here and hurry up. But you can't force people.
No.
And, you know who those people are in your life. That there's people in that sort of basket. There are people that are fully awake, and then there's those middle ones, and then there's ones that are probably never going to get there. But again, sometimes it's not their fault. It's their soul contract. It's just what it is. And we all have a soul contract. We've all kind of signed up for this beforehand, and
that's the lesson of acceptance, isn't it? It's a lesson of acceptance. It's like when I first awoke to all this, I was trying to tell every Tom, Dick, and Harry that the world's not the way they see it, and then it's looking at me like I have four heads. Or I was trying to bang it home to people, and I was pretty aggressive. And it's just that lesson of acceptance. And then when I went into the spiritual stuff and learned about soul contracts and soul journey, like this makes a lot of sense now. And then it's like the lesson, you've got to accept that that's the journey that they're on, is the journey that they chose before they entered this life. So
it really does.
That. Yeah. I'll tell you a quick story. When I was little, I used to go to restaurants, or sometimes like for birthdays and things like that. And I remember even back then I was trying to tell people, don't eat that, don't eat that. We went to this pancake kitchen once for a birthday. Everyone was eating like pancakes and syrup and stuff. And I think I started crying because I was like, no, don't eat that.
Yeah.
And everyone just thought I was really annoying.
But strangely enough, I actually think that particular building is meant to be haunted. So maybe you're picking up on energies with that. But it has happened in other places that were not so oldie worldy. There are more modern venues that Julia still had that point of view with the
I just felt like the people were treating it badly, or there was something wrong with it. And I was just used to tell people, don't eat that. Like, you don't want to eat that. And but I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like you said, Nathan, everyone kind of has to work this out themselves. And I think another big thing for this year, if people haven't sort of worked it out, myself included, you can't control what people's decisions are, and you really just have to let people do what they want to do, as much as you might agree or disagree with it, and you might want to help people, they need to make their decisions, and it's an acceptance of people's choices. And I don't think this is for everyone, because you've got to have to be really quite tough, to deal with all of this. Like, there's a lot to take on, there's a lot to deal with, and it's just a lot in general.
But if you want to start, I found getting healthy was the first step. If you can get yourself healthy, like not just they're healthy, but like organic food and clean water and that, and exercise and lifting and doing all those things, I found getting healthy was my number one priority. And as soon as I did that, the rest of it came. You got 4 pillars of strength. You got your financial, you got your spiritual, you got your mental, and you got your physical. You build those 4 areas, you're laughing. But it takes a lot of hard work and discipline, though.
But I was obviously guided. Sometimes it's hard to get words out, isn't it?
Yeah.
You were obviously guided to do that at this point in time. It just coincidentally was within the last couple of years. Is that right?
I had a voice inside that was telling me to stop getting drunk and chasing girls every weekend. It was time for me to actually find out what it is I'm actually supposed to be here for, and it wasn't doing that.
You can still pursue the ladies.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm just not going to drink. I ain't drinking.
Obviously, I mean, people shouldn't think of this as, oh, nothing's going to be fun anymore. No.
No.
People are kind of going wrong. It's either one or the other. You either have to be, it's all this.
Well said.
It's all this, and no, it's not that. It's taking little bits of who you are and what you are and what you enjoy. And the bad bits, just make it little.
You can still go to the pub and do stuff. You don't have to drink. You sit and drink a glass of water, and who knows? You might have that really deep conversation. You might hold space for someone. They might tell you some things, and you give them some advice. You're the sober one, so I found doing that, being the leader amongst that tribe, I found that being very, 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 very powerful and very authentic to me. But I had to go through all that. I sort of hid myself from society for a while, but I'm getting back out there now, which is good.
Yeah, no, that's good. And as Julia said, definitely, men out there that are, maybe have been in your position or are feeling like you are, yes, definitely you should be pursuing women, but not fueled from that, the poisons of obviously alcohol. Doing it from your heart. Like what's talking to you? Who's talking to you? And when I say talking to you, I mean who's resonating with you.
Yeah.
So if there's someone out there that you take, it's taking your fancy, go for it. And now's the time. It's don't hold back, and don't be. I shouldn't say don't, because that's a negative word, but be as confident in yourself, because there's nothing. You don't need to feel bad if someone's not on the same page as you at that point in time. That's okay. It's okay. Like somebody else will be. So that's we would give that advice. So
and I think
I love that.
Like some people, well, no, actually, I'm gonna say sometimes the healing journey can feel very personal and very sort of closed, and I can't let anyone in, and I've got to like focus on myself, and you do learn, and I was a little bit like that, but you do learn so much through connecting with people and opening up. And yes, that's a vulnerable position to be in, but if you don't do that, then we're not going to connect with the right people, and
exactly.
And, men and women need to come together and join forces and make beautiful music together. Like we can't just be like separate and or just with anyone, friends or whatever. We have to be more open and willing to learn through relationship, because that's your best teacher, is through your relationships with people.
And
not be that in that kind of like, I think sometimes the healing can be very selfish, kind of, not selfish, I'm probably saying that the wrong way, but it can get a little bit like that, like I just have to do it on my own.
into yourself. Yeah. But I think that has to do with a lot of the people that are online that do kind of talk about this kind of thing. There's a lot of, I guess, more new age type people that talk about this kind of stuff, and a lot of the content's great, but some of it does kind of point to me. It's all a self kind of journey. Yes, there is a very important reason to finding yourself, because if you know yourself and you're confident within yourself and your purpose, then you can give out so much more. You're not sort of timid and in your boots and not sure of yourself. Confidence is a really, really beautiful thing, because when you know who you are and what you are, that's a really powerful energy that you can be putting out there. And definitely astrologically, universally right now, there's a lot of powerful energy with relationships, and especially the masculine feminine relationships coming together. So it's such an important thing.
And also
right now,
all the the apps, the dating apps, the Instagram and all this kind of thing, like, how can anyone really, if they're just entertaining that, be focusing on what is truly for them, like the right person for them, or the right connection, when they're so distracted with all these other people all the time? Like, it's an impossible equation. You really have to remove yourself from that scenario, get real, and go, okay, do I really want to just be some person just looking at different things online, or do I want to really but really embody and embrace the full essence of what life has to offer, which is connection with the right people, the right soul people. If you're not going to try that or go down that road, then you're stuck in the program of what these people wanted us to be in. And we've seen the decline of that the last 10, 15 years. Like, people's focus, their decision making is so all over the place because they don't know what to do. It's just,
they've put people in a confused state, though, because they're like, we have all of these
and really you've got none of those options.
You've got all of these options, but none of them are really an option, are they? Because a lot of them are just cyberspace. I wouldn't even say potentialities. They're just cyberspace rubbish. It's just all about attention, and it's like me, give me this, and that's the kind of energy that permeates a lot of these those websites and dating apps and all that sort of stuff. This is just our perspective, but I think a lot of it you'll find is truthful. If you were to actually measure the energies on these apps and that kind of thing, that is exactly what it was designed for. And look at who's created these apps. What families did they come from? Who are they?
Same every time.
Good people. Okay, not good people.
And just people that want to screw up other people's lives, that can have a beautiful life with exactly what they need and want.
Yep, spot on. And it's the same families every single time. They're the same families poisoning your food. They're the same families putting fluoride in your water. The same families handing out a toxic medical poison. They're the same families that pretty much poison everything that we know is to be true. And they poison our TVs and they poison our minds. It's the same ones every single time. It's like the coffee too. I did some research on coffee. Coffee's like one of the worst spiritual toxins that you can possibly have. It was Bill Gates. Bill Gates and Bill Gates Sr. rebooted Starbucks, and they put coffee on every corner. It's like it's the same people every single time.
I didn't know that so much about the coffee.
I don't drink coffee. I've never liked coffee.
You guys need to read Caffeine Blues by Stephen Shinesky, and it will change your whole life. He does a lot of research with some doctors and stuff on coffee, and it is bad. And there's a reason why it's on every corner. Even the organic and healthier alternatives, just as bad as the stuff in Starbucks.
Really?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. Caffeine Blues by Stephen Shinesky. I can't recommend that book enough to people.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Well, it is very addictive, isn't it, for people?
Oh, they made it addictive.
Personally drink coffee, but I know why people like it. The smell is very nice. It's very, very inviting. It's very warm.
But what it does is it makes the work or the slavery feel awesome to people. It sedates them to a point where, I need my 3 cups of coffee to survive the shitty job that I'm working.
Yeah, exactly.
It's literally why it's there. It's to make this system feel like it's the coolest thing ever when it's really not.
Yeah, that's right. You sort of back in old jobs and things like that, we would, the best part of the day will be going down to get your coffee, right?
Exactly.
Sometimes.
It's making your shitty job feel like it's awesome.
And then you finish off the week with the alcohol. That's
Yep.
the other thing.
That's another program as well.
Yeah, it's a great pattern to get people into, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Sedate them and
Yep.
You can see a lot of it for what it is now. It's very obvious. It's right there in your face, and we question everything all the time, don't we? Like it's not a lot of fun, really. I mean, we've had to change our diet a lot too. Not that our diet, I think, was ever really that bad. We never grew up drinking soft drink or anything like that, or having what do you call it, takeaway? I don't even know what it's called. Fast food, that sort of thing. We just didn't. That's just not how our parents brought us up. But a lot of kids did, especially from those times and now, even more so. So we were lucky in that sense, but we've still had to adjust as much as we can. Try to go organic where we can, where we can afford, and those kinds of things. So and just being really mindful of what's in stuff, anything that's packaged and all this kind of gear. It's a full-time job.
Yeah, it is.
Looking at what you're washing your hair with, your skin, all of the rest of it. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, I love going food shopping now. I love picking out my organic food. Yeah, I reckon it's awesome. I just love what I put into my body because I know it makes me feel good.
You must have a good shop to go to then.
I've got a couple of rippers here in Bendigo. I'll give Organics Bendigo a shout out, and the food garden in Castlemaine. They're bloody awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind going to the organic sort of markets, but supermarkets, oh my god, I can't walk into supermarkets.
No, neither.
It's just the worst.
I don't know, I've never really enjoyed
energy.
it.
I just can't.
Yeah, I've never enjoyed it either.
But the energy in the organic shops, though, like you can tell that the people working there love what they're doing and they love providing people with awesome food.
Yeah, they're more into it.
Yeah, you can tell. Like the bloke that owns Organics in Bendigo, who watches my stuff. Shout out to Evan. He loves what he does. He loves going to the markets on a Wednesday, couple of hours away in Melbourne or to Dalesford and bringing back the food for people. Like he loves what he does.
Yeah, and that's an example of being passionate. Being sort of in the flow of what you're drawn to naturally.
And that's his soul journey right there.
Exactly.
And we'll give a shout out to Brian. Grows our organic.
I don't think he'll be watching this. But...
No, he won't be watching this. Yeah, I'm not too sure what overall page he's on, but he's one of those that we were talking about that's kind of aware of things. But he's doing good stuff because he is growing organic produce. So people are contributing in different ways. They might not know everything, but there are people out there that are contributing. So yeah, shout out to him.
I don't know about you guys, but like I find buying stuff that's ensuring I feel good and feel strong and powerful, then I love buying it. Like magnesium and fulvic acid. I could go on for days about fulvic acid. That black dirt stuff's unreal. Protein and all that sort of stuff. Like I just love going and buying that stuff because I just feel good.
Yeah, it's like you have a connection with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're the same. Obviously, there are supplements that we have, but we would love to get to a point where you didn't even need those things. Where you could just
exactly. Just in the water.
Getting all the nutrients that you needed from the food. Because
exactly. We should have magnesium in our water.
Wouldn't that be good?
Wouldn't it?
It would be good. It says it's riddled with fluoride and chlorine and heavy metals.
Right? Shocking.
Yeah. Well, this has been an awesome chat, ladies. Like I could sit here for the next 2 hours and just spin a yarn with you. It's bloody awesome. But there comes a time where you have to like wrap things up a little bit. I do things a bit differently with my podcast. I didn't even ask this for a dad joke sort of thing. But if you got any jokes on the top of your head, please share with the class or an affirmation to leave with people. But before we get there, I often ask a question. You can both answer it separately. It's like we've probably already covered it, but we'll just another way of asking it. It's like if someone's stuck, if someone's like lonely or they're depressed, they're broke, they're addicted, they're like they're just stuck, right? And what would be your advice to those people to start their healing journey?
Yeah. Watch our video. I'm kidding, but I'm sort of not kidding. That would be a good place to start if you're looking online for something to look at. Yeah, you could definitely check out some of the work that we've done, and of course yours as well. And many people, there's a lot of people doing some great content out there.
I think like my advice would be
go deep.
Yeah.
I know you want to go deep. Just go deep, because this will be an Instagram reel in the next couple of weeks.
I know it's gonna be that good.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll start with something that's a little less deep. Look, I would say you really have to make a really, really big effort to minimize. I'm not going to say eliminate totally, but minimize the distractions in your life.
Yep.
And that, it's as simple as maybe, turning off the TV, or stop watching as many programs or whatever it is that you're doing with your time. Choose the music that you listen to wisely. I mean, I step back sometimes and listen to some music, some rock music that I like, because I don't want to not have any fun in life, but just minimize it, and just be mindful of your thoughts when you're in that space and you're listening to those things or watching those things. And also make an effort to surround yourself as much as you can with people that share similar energy to you and are on the same page as you. Obviously, we do have to interact with people that may not be on the same page as us in life, but I guess minimize those interactions. You can choose to eliminate certain things if you can. If there's certain friends you don't feel like you're resonating with anymore, maybe start moving away from some of those things so that you can allow space for new things and new people, new energies to come in. And of course, we would always say, connect with nature, get as grounded as you possibly can. If it's just stepping outside and breathing some of the hopefully fresh air that you might have, going, being near the water, or touching a tree, putting your feet on the grass, those kinds of things. There's some really simple tips, I would say. Just start healing, and just daily practices
Love
that
that.
will help you with your healing journey and your progression and evolution forward.
Okay, so I would say, I was just kind of thinking back to my sort of lowest moments, and for me it was really, I felt challenged by so many different things on many different levels, and just trying to sort out my own brain was like a big journey itself.
Yeah.
I just thought of everything from every single angle, and I had this vision when I was young, like my brain was kind of like this maze, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna figure this out one day. I know I'll get to a point where I'll work it out, but right now it's just like this big maze, and I kind of have to sort it all out. So if you're in a position where you just don't know where to start, and you're just depressed, don't know anything, or like this is just too overwhelming, the whole thing, I would really start with just laying down, just breathing, or just feeling something inside of you that just gives you some joyous feeling. Just something of your past, or something that you even heard, or something that somebody said to you that made you feel really good. Just something really simple like that, and it connects with your heart in some way, and it just brings you that like light and that joy. And just lay there and just feel that, and then just allow that to kind of move through you. And then you're going to go back to many moments of feeling not worthy and all these types of things. But if you're at that really low point, I would just start with just a beautiful thought, just one. And then another one will come in, and another one, and it'll kind of just keep pushing you. If you allow it to, it'll keep pushing you in the direction that you need to go in, because it's almost like you're allowing spirit in. And sometimes it really is hard to connect with your higher self if you're so down and out and you don't know what to do, because you can't really connect when you're that. I couldn't. I was like, I don't know how to connect with my spirit guides. I don't know how to do that, because I'm feeling angry and down. I don't know how to do that. So you've got to start at that point that feels achievable. So that, as I said, it could just be a nice thought, something nice from your past that just made you feel some level of joy and peace. And then just do it again, and then do it again. Or if exercise, you're fine.
No, sorry, I just had something like that.
Like, right. And another thing would be like, if exercise or movement, or just a walk or something, or just watching the waves, at the beach. Often water can just take away your worry, like in a second. Just little things like that can really just give you small steps, because the last thing you want to feel when you're in that position is overwhelmed. Definitely don't want to be feeling like, oh my God, I can never get there. I'm never going to be able to do this. And I might as well just give up. Because you need to feel like it's achievable. And that will make you feel like it's achievable because you're just doing steps that are comfortable for you. You just got to own that.
Water is great for absorbing negative energy. So any water at all, even if it's just, you know, a bath or a shower, just whatever you can do, that's a great way, a great quick way to do that. Yeah.
That's awesome. That was so cool. I don't really have a dad joke or anything to share, or an affirmation to finish on, but we can only finish on that, to be honest.
Oh, you know, I was sitting here thinking, like, trying to think of dad jokes, but I'm a bit more of like a quick sort of person. Like through a conversation, I'm not really like, knock, who's there? Like, I've never sort of been prepared.
I've always loved my dad jokes. It's just something that I'm not going to change about myself, you know.
Do you have one?
Yeah, you share.
I've got heaps. I could share. I could do a whole podcast on dad jokes, to be honest with you, but if that's what people want. What's the one that's come to me recently? What have I got here? Oh yeah, why did the golfer wear 2 pairs of pants? You got a hole in one.
Yeah, I hope this when I was a child.
I know too.
He doesn't
Here we go.
get a hole in one. So he gets a hole in one. So he doesn't.
He's got a hole in one.
He doesn't.
So he got a hole in one because he got a hole in one.
Yeah, because
we knew we'd heard it before.
Yeah, I think this is from like.
Is this from the 80s?
Oh, this is a funny joke.
Okay, yeah, that was a good one.
I like that.
We got that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I can give you I'll probably go one more.
Okay.
Did you hear about the knots that had a race?
No.
Ended in a tie.
It's a good joke if Julia gets it.
Okay. All right, I'll go one more. Why did the invisible man turn down the job offer? Because he couldn't see himself doing it.
I like that one.
There we go.
All
right.
Yeah, they should do that.
Carly, Julia, thank you for coming on. I'm so grateful to that we went off on so many awesome tangents there. So many deep, awesome moments and awesome conversations that hopefully inspires everyone out there to start their journey or continue on their journey. And I'm looking forward to getting you back on for part 2, and I'm looking forward to coming on to yours. And I'm just really grateful that you accepted my request over the week. So yeah, thank you for coming on.
Well, thanks, Nathan. It was a pleasure being on, and we'll love to have you on our show soon. Looking forward to it. So that wraps up today, and I hope everyone got something out of it. And I'll see you guys real soon. I've got some pretty awesome guests coming up after Carly and Julia. So yeah, thank you, and have an awesome day or night wherever in the world you are, and I'll see you guys real soon. So thank you.
Thanks, Nathan. Bye, everyone.